In the span of just 3 days, Google lost two of the most important people it had. One of them owns a Nobel Prize with Google's own name attached to it. The other helped invent the technology that every major AI company on Earth runs on today. And both of them walked straight into the arms of Google's biggest rivals. This is not a normal round of job changes. This is the AI talent war turning into something that looks a lot more like a crisis. And right now, Google is the one bleeding. Let me start with the bigger shock of the two. On Friday, June 19th, a man named John Jumper posted a short note on X. He said that after nearly 9 years, he had decided to leave Google DeepMind to join Anthropic, the company behind the Claude AI models. To most people, that name might not mean much, but inside the science world, John Jumper is a giant. He is the co-creator of AlphaFold, an AI system that solved a problem scientists had been stuck on for 50 years. Here's why that matters in plain terms. Your body is run by tiny machines called proteins. To build new medicines, scientists need to know the exact three-dimensional shape of these proteins, and figuring out a single shape used to take years of slow lab work. AlphaFold changed all of that. It could predict these shapes in minutes instead of years. By 2021, Jumper's team had predicted close to 200 million protein structures. For comparison, humans had only managed to solve around 200,000 of them over decades of painful effort. That work was so important that in 2024, Jumper shared the Nobel Prize in Chemistry with Demis Hassabis, who is the CEO of Google DeepMind. Think about how rare that is. Google did not just employ a brilliant researcher. Google employed a man holding a Nobel Prize that was won for work done inside Google itself. Jumper was even born in 1985, which made him the youngest chemistry Nobel winner in more than 70 years. People like this almost never leave, and yet he did. But here's where it gets interesting, because Jumper was not the only one. Just 2 days before his announcement on June 18th, another Google leader dropped his own bombshell. His name is Noam Shazeer, and he was a co-lead of Gemini, which is Google's flagship AI model. Shazeer announced that he was leaving Google to join OpenAI, the company that makes ChatGPT. And his story has a twist that makes it sting even more. Noam Shazeer is one of the people who actually invented the modern AI era. Back in 2017, he was one of the authors of a research paper called "Attention is All You Need." That paper introduced something called the Transformer. If that word sounds technical, just know this. The Transformer is the core engine that powers almost every big AI model today, including ChatGPT, Gemini, and Claude. Without it, the AI boom we are living through might not exist at all. Shazeer helped build the foundation, and now he is taking his talent to OpenAI. What makes this even more painful for Google is the money. Shazeer originally left Google in 2021 to start his own company called Character.ai. Google wanted him back so badly that in 2024 it reportedly spent around $2.7 billion to bring him and his team home. Google paid a fortune to lock in one of the smartest minds in AI, and less than 2 years later, he walked out the door anyway and joined a direct competitor. Most people do not know this part, so let me explain why these two exits hit so hard at the same time. When Shazeer left, the bosses at OpenAI celebrated openly. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, posted that Shazeer was one of the people he had most wanted to work with since the very beginning of the company, and that it only took 10 years to make it happen. On the other side, when Jumper left, his old boss Demis Hassabis still wished him well in public, writing that what they achieved with AlphaFold changed the world. It was a graceful goodbye. But underneath the kind words, the message was clear. Google could not hold on to them, and the market noticed right away. When these back-to-back departures hit the news, investors got nervous about whether Google was losing its grip on the AI race. Alphabet, which is Google's parent company, saw its stock drop by around 6% in a single trading session. That one drop erased somewhere north of $200 billion from the company's value. To put that in perspective, 2 people leaving their jobs wiped out more money than most large companies are worth in their entire lifetime. That is how closely the stock market now ties the value of a tech giant to the brains it can keep. So why is this happening to Google specifically? This is the part that should worry them the most. According to reporting from Bloomberg, before Jumper left, his focus had quietly shifted away from cutting-edge science and toward building AI coding tools. A Nobel Prize winner who cracked one of biology's hardest problems was reportedly being pointed at helping sell software to businesses. And here is the catch. That is the exact area where Google has been struggling. Employees inside DeepMind have reportedly complained that the company does not have a clear plan for the business tools that companies actually want to buy. Now compare that to where these people are going. Anthropic's coding tool called Claude Code has been driving a huge chunk of that company's recent growth. OpenAI has been racing ahead in the same space, so you have 2 rivals winning in the exact area where Google feels stuck, and Google's best people are choosing to go work there instead. That is not a money problem anymore. Google clearly has plenty of money. This looks like a problem with focus, direction, and the feeling that the most exciting work is happening somewhere else. And the numbers behind the scenes tell an even uglier story. A talent report from a firm called Signalfire found that Anthropic had become the single biggest magnet for top AI researchers in the industry. The report showed that engineers were leaving Google DeepMind for Anthropic at a ratio of nearly 11-to-1. Read that again. For every one person moving from Anthropic to Google, almost 11 people were moving the other way. When the flow of talent is that lopsided, it is not bad luck, it is a pattern. This is also part of a much bigger fight that is reshaping the entire tech world. Right now, Google, OpenAI, Anthropic, and Meta are all fighting over a tiny pool of people who can actually build the next generation of AI. There might only be a few hundred researchers on the whole planet capable of work at this level. So hiring one of them is a little like a sports team signing a once-in-a-generation superstar. It does not just add talent. It sends a signal about which team the momentum is moving toward. For Anthropic, Landing Jumper is about more than just one smart hire. The company has been pushing hard into using AI for science and medicine, an area where it was thinner than its rivals. By bringing in the man who built AlphaFold, Anthropic instantly gains credibility in a field it wanted to lead. It even has a big science research event planned for the end of June, and adding a Nobel winner right before that fits perfectly. What makes it more surprising is that Anthropic is currently tangled in a legal fight with the United States government, and that kind of cloud usually scares top talent away. A Nobel winner looked at all of it and signed up anyway. So where does this leave Google? It would be a mistake to count the company out. Google DeepMind is still one of the strongest research labs in the world, packed with brilliant people. Its Gemini models reached over 650 million monthly users by late 2025, and it has spun off other ambitious projects, including a company aimed at designing new drugs with AI. Losing 2 stars, even huge ones, does not erase all of that overnight. A program the size of Gemini does not collapse because one co-lead walks away. But the real damage here is not just about losing 2 people, it is about the story those exits tell. Money was clearly not the deciding factor because Google has more of it than almost anyone. The deciding factor seems to be where the smartest people believe the future is being built, and right now, too many of them are pointing at the door. That should be the real warning for Google, not the stock drop and not the headlines, but the quiet sense that its best minds think the most important work is happening somewhere else. Quick note before we wrap up. None of this is financial advice, it is just a breakdown of a story that is shaping the future of technology. So now the big question is yours to answer. Do you think Google can turn this around and win back the trust of its best researchers, or is this the start of a slow decline for a company that helped invent modern AI in the first place? Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely want to know what you think. If you found this breakdown useful, hit that subscribe button so you do not miss the next one. Thanks for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.